I get a FaceTime from Kamaya, but Brad is in the background. And she's like, hey. And I'm like, girl, you don't never greet me with hey. Like, it was real calm and quiet. Welcome back to my channel. Your girl is in a blazer today because it is a serious matter, and that's on 1908. Okay, period. We have to catch up. This is gonna be a life update video, but before we get into it, you already know what to do. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Girl, do all the things, and we'll get right into it. Okay, we have a lot to talk about. I know it's been a minute since I posted a video. You guys have been at my neck on Instagram. If you don't follow me on Instagram, go follow me now. Where do I start? We got traded. That's just what happened. Life happened. We got traded from the Lakers to the Washington Wizards, which means my whole entire family had to relocate. Literally across the country. Like, California is here. DC is all the way over here. Well, to y'all, it's like reversed. But y'all just know we went coast to coast. Kentavious was with the Lakers for 4 years, which felt like a lifetime, you guys. I loved it there. Let me be honest. Kentavious got drafted to the Pistons in 2013, played with the Pistons for 4 years. And honestly, you guys, whenever we left Detroit, I bawled my eyes out. I did not want to go to LA. Isn't that crazy? And your girl became like, I just like created my whole brand in LA. I just really don't do well with change at all. Whenever I got the news, of course, I'm in tears again, girl, I'm in shambles. I don't do well with change at all. So I cried for like 2 weeks. But let's get into how I found out. During quarantine, we kind of realized that our LA house was too small. Well, I don't know if it was too small or it was just the floor plan. You guys have seen my house tour video. If you haven't, make sure you do that after you watch this one. It was tri-level, right? So with us being quarantined there and just like living a pandemic lifestyle in that house, it was very unrealistic with 3 boys. We didn't have a huge yard. There was really nowhere for them to play. It was tri-level, so it was a very narrow house, right? It wasn't like spread out where they can like run and play inside. I loved that house, but I just feel like we outgrew it and we needed more space for the kids, especially because we plan to continue to expand our family. We definitely need more place for the kids. Kentavious didn't have like a place to like decompress. We just felt like we were all on top of each other. We put our house on the market. It was before we got traded. Our house sold in 8 days, boom. So that happened really fast. I was actually looking for homes in LA. The off season happened. We went to our Atlanta house to, you know, like visit family, do our normal routine in the off season. I had flew back to LA because I had to do some stuff for our closing. I was with our realtor, Michael. Hey, Michael. I'm leaving like the last showing of the day. We looked at like 4 houses and I really liked this one, you guys. And I looked at it like 4 or 5 times, a little bit over our budget, but I was like, should we splurge? Like, you just got the 3-year deal. Mind you, Kentavious had been on 1-year deals every year that we were in LA. This is the first time he had a 3-year deal, you guys. So we were like getting comfortable. Every off season, we're kind of like, This was the first time that we actually like kicked our feet up and we were like, okay, we cool, we chilling for a minute. Girl, no. This was the 1 year that knock on the door, you're moving. I'm in the car, headed home. My sister was with me in LA. She came with me just so I would have someone there. Kentavious was already working out. The kids were in their routine at home, visiting family, so whatever. Driving home, I get the call. I get a FaceTime from Kamaya, but Brad is in the background. And she's like, hey. And I'm like, girl, you don't never greet me with hey. Like, it was real calm and quiet. She was like, how do you feel about coming to DC? And I'm like, girl, to visit? Like, what you mean? And she's like, no. How do you guys feel about moving to DC? And I'm like, what do you mean? And at this point, I didn't know about Kentavious being in trade talks. The only 2 players that we knew were untouchable were LeBron and AD. Every year, we're kind of like in these trade talks, but nothing ever came into fruition. And like usually Rich, Kentavious' agent, will like give us a heads up. Kamaya's talking about us moving to DC and I'm like, girl, no. To be completely honest, I did not watch Eastern Conference basketball because we were in the Western Conference. I knew nothing about their team. I knew nothing about the Eastern Conference. Couldn't name more than 2 players on the team. Like, I'm like, I don't know. I don't really know how I feel about it. Brad gets on the phone and he's like, it's between here or Sacramento and we really want you guys here. And I'm like, let me call Rich. Like, I really wanted to break down in tears because it was like being sprung on me because my whole life is like about to change in one phone call, right? Like, call Rich. This is the day of the draft, you guys. And he's like, Mckenzie, it's draft day. What's going on? And I'm like, Rich, I know. And I love Rich to death because he always answers the phone. He knows if I call him, like, I'm always like, it's for a reason. Well, I asked him, I'm like, what's going on with the trade? Brad and Kamaya just called me. Are we moving to DC? Rich tells me that's a possibility and it could happen today. And I'm like, what? Meanwhile, Kentavious is actually, he was training in Atlanta, but was flying to Vegas that day. I believe he was on the plane to go train with Phil Handy, which is from the Lakers, just doing his normal thing. He always works out with Phil in the off season. So I couldn't call Kentavious. I'm on the phone with Rich. He's telling me this is a big possibility. And I'm like, what? And I was like, okay, so then what about Sacramento? He did tell me that if that trade went through, then Kentavious was not gonna be a part of it. What he did tell me was that there was a huge possibility that we could be traded to DC, and it was gonna happen today if it was gonna go through. I get off the phone with him so he can continue getting dressed for the draft. Try to call Kentavious. Obviously he's still in the air, so he couldn't answer the phone. Kamaya's trying to call me back. I just had knots in my stomach. I couldn't even answer the phone. I may or may not have called my mom. I was just really shook. My heart was just like broken. I'm like, how am I gonna tell my kids? I couldn't talk to Kentavious. I felt helpless in that moment. It sounds like crazy to say. I don't want to sound like I'm crying on a yacht, but our whole life changes in that one phone call. Even though we live like a beautiful life, like uprooting your family and all they know. My kids grew up in LA. Like Kenzo started kindergarten there. We moved to LA when KJ was 3 months old. So that's all he knows. Kendricks was born in LA. Kentavious and I were practically newlyweds. They'd only been married for a year before we moved to LA. Just so much, like a huge chunk of our life happened there. The championship, so much. Fast forward 2 hours after I got off phone with Rich, my phone is blowing up with text messages. Are you okay? Oh my gosh. I'm like, what is going on? The trade went through. I got all the text messages. People were writing me on Instagram. You know, all the sports pages are posting it. Kentavious, Kuz, and Trez got traded to DC for Russell Westbrook. And I was like, oh my gosh. I just had to turn off my phone. The only person I wanted to talk to was Kentavious. He finally called me when he landed. The only thing he said was, what you think? Which is usually what he says whenever he has a lot on his mind, but he wants to hear my opinion first. And I'm like, I don't know what to think. Or we're really going to DC, and here we are. Fast forward, you guys, we got traded to DC. From LA, I didn't even go back to Atlanta. I took a flight straight here to DC, and I'm like, girl, I guess we're gonna be house hunting in DC. I looked for like 2 days with our amazing realtor, Jill. Shout out to Jill. We found a beautiful home that I'm in right now, you guys. All of the things that I was looking for in LA, we found here. Which I feel like our steps are ordered, and God is so good because we put our house on the market before the trade. It's sold. We were able to find a house here with everything we didn't have in LA. Girl, let's talk about this house. Come closer, come closer, come closer. We have a driveway. You guys, we have a real driveway. If you are from LA or live in LA, y'all know what I'm talking about. It don't matter how much your house costs. Having a driveway is like such a luxury. A driveway, you guys. I'm like, we are so grown. Like, I be telling Kentavious, like, we're old people now because we appreciate stuff like a driveway. Girl, he be coming home from work, parking his car backwards, sideways, all type of ways in the driveway now. Not only that, you guys, my kids have a yard. LA, girl, they give you 2 square inches and be like, that's $1 million. Trying to get your house on 1 acre, 1 acre, girl, that's gonna cost you $20 million. And here we were able to get that for, not even gonna say, but here we were able to get almost everything we wanted. I'm so happy. We don't know how long we're gonna be here, but I'm definitely taking it in this season, you guys. Working on this house has really helped me cope with the change and making it feel like home. Due to COVID, it is so hard to get furniture right now. Girl, it'll take you like 6 months to get a toothbrush. We actually ended up taking a lot of our furniture from Atlanta because the house is just sitting during the season, which is where I got my beautiful chair, my flowers. These are actually replicas of my wedding bouquet. Just like certain things that make it feel like home here. I've been painting and doing wallpaper, which are like subtle changes, but they make the biggest impact in your home, you guys. Kentavious met me out here after we found a house, and we FaceTimed the kids. They were like, where are you? We told them that we were in DC and that we're moving here. We really wanted to wait until we found a home before we told them because we just wanted them to feel like there was some sort of security with us moving across the country. We FaceTimed them, we showed them the house, and girl, we showed them the backyard, and they were like, when do we move? They really have fallen in love with DC, you guys. Wixie, my baby, he calls it ABCD. Mommy, we're moving to ABCD. Yeah, baby, ABCD, Washington, DC. So he really loves it. They started school. KJ and Kendricks have never been to school before, so this is their first time. They love it. Girl, the first, I'll say 2 to 4 weeks. were very hard. They cried every day, but now they be begging to go on the weekends. Growth. Kenzo loves his school, already flourishing. I call him the Fresh Prince of Potomac because he already has all the friends, all the mamas is asking me to hang out, which I love it because it just makes me feel like I've been here for a long time, and it's only been like 6 weeks. The season is starting soon, so Contavious is about to get in his groove. It's just been great, you guys. Are y'all ready for some East Coast content? Oh, let me show you guys. I bought something. This is the first thing I bought. I saw these and I had to get them because, girl, we were living in LA and we don't get seasons like that. Like, honestly, whenever I first got here, it rained for like 4 days. And I was like, what is this wet stuff falling from the sky? I'm not used to this. Also, I've really enjoyed the fall weather. I'm a Texas girl, born and raised in Dallas girl, and I missed fall weather. Like, this is so nice. I really love it. My kids love it. Like, you can play outside. It's not too hot. It's beautiful. You have like a breeze. The air feels like crispy. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm really enjoying the fall, you guys. My first purchase as a new East Coast girl. Ready? Drum roll. You guys, I had to get these earmuffs. Welcome to the East Coast. MCP and the C is for CC, okay? You guys, these earmuffs are so cute. I had to have them. But then, girl, why my neighbors told me that it doesn't really snow that much? I'm like, really? It has to snow. Like, what am I gonna do? Girl, as soon as it hits the 50s, these are coming out. Picking up my kids from school, like, You guys, these are so cute. I had to get these, and these also helped me cope with the move. This was just like my little gift to myself. Like, girl, just push through, push through. But yeah, I'm really excited. A lot of people were asking me, what are you gonna do? I can't picture you not being in LA. Like I'm gonna be bored. Girl, do you know who you're talking to? I had fun in the bubble where everyone was miserable and crying to go home. I had the time of my life. I can have fun anywhere. So your girl is gonna be all right. Also, we lived in Detroit, so it was cold there. It literally snowed from Halloween to Easter, you guys. Like, I'll be okay. I'm gonna buy some furs, so. Girl, this cold weather fashion is about to be it. Y'all know my birthday coming up. We have a lot of good things to look forward to, you guys. So don't worry about MCP. Just focus on this content, you guys. We have a lot of stuff planned. Your girl is ready. MCP takes the DMV. Let's go.